I'm really curious. Why did Nancy Pelosi have a documentary team with her on January 6th, and why are we just learning about it now?
You know, I think this video, the Nancy Pelosi insurrection movie, has backfired on the Democrats. To your point, Charlie, why are we just seeing this on the last day during the last January 6th committee hearing? Why didn't they show this early on? You know why, Charlie? Because Benny Thompson, the chairman of this committee, said when this committee was formed that Nancy Pelosi's office would be off limits to the committee. They did not investigate her role in the lack of security of the Capitol that day. It is her responsibility, not Donald Trump, to make sure that the building and the grounds were secure. They were intentionally left vulnerable. We still don't know why. So yes, why was Nancy Pelosi's daughter, Alexandra, and her son-in-law, another filmmaker, on Capitol grounds? Why was she recording her starting at 9 o'clock in the morning throughout the day, including following her to a secure location at Fort McNair with all of these elected officials there? So the video, the footage that we saw yesterday and last night on CNN raises a lot more questions than it answers about January 6th.
Yes, I want to play the tape here. It's very bizarre. And by the way, they accuse the right of being domestic violent extremists. This is a very violent quote from Nancy Pelosi about how I'm going to go to jail for punching him for trespassing on Capitol grounds. Like, you gotta just wonder if, Speaker XYZ for the Republican side said that about Joe Biden or Barack Obama. I mean, imagine if there was a video of Speaker Paul Ryan. It's like, I'm going to punch Barack Obama if he came over. Like, hold on a second, what? All right, play cut 88.
Oh, he comes, I'm going to punch him out. This is my mom.
I would pay to see that.
I've been waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm going to punch him out, and I'm going to go to jail, and I'm going to be happy.
So at what time of day was this when she said this?
Charlie, that's a good question. I'm trying to nail that down because the joint session started at 1 o'clock that day. He seemed to be already speaking. Trump was continuing to speak when she said that. So I'm guessing that this was a little before 1 o'clock, maybe quarter to 1. But Charlie, what I noted on Twitter is, how did her chief of staff know before Donald Trump knew that the Secret Service would not be taking him to the Capitol? That's another question that needs to be answered. You know, the committee said that they have all of these documents from the Secret Service. We know that text messages dating all the way back to November of 2020 of top Secret Service officials have been deleted from their cell phones. So if you're looking at this, Charlie, like an inside job that January 6th was, a massive stunt, a massive entrapment operation to draw these Trump supporters there, create an insurrection that Alexandra Pelosi could record every minute of, and she's still producing her documentary, by the way. Why can't we see Nancy Pelosi's records? Why can't we see all the Secret Service records? But for her to stand there and say that and accuse the president that he was going to trespass on Capitol grounds, it's a public building, it's public grounds, he's the president. But it was a little foreshadowing, Charlie, because of course, as you know, hundreds of Americans have been charged with trespassing misdemeanors related to being on the grounds or inside the building that day. There just seemed to be too much foreknowledge on Nancy Pelosi's part and others that we saw in that footage about not what was just going to happen that day, but what was going to happen afterwards. And of course, Charlie, it must be said, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, the Democrats and establishment Republicans got what they wanted on January 6th. They did not want 12 hours of debate about election fraud in these 6 contested states. They did not want a vote on a 10-day election commission, emergency election commission. They wanted that shut down. And it just so happens, Charlie, that the breach of the Capitol resulted in Pelosi, McConnell, and the Biden regime getting exactly what they wanted. Because, of course, that process was entirely shut down after they resumed the joint session.
I just really wonder what they knew before that. And I agree, a mass entrapment operation sounds to be very likely.